Jake Arrieta, P. Philadelphia Phillies. Arrieta has had a couple decent games, but the Phillies defense has got to step it up. Throughout the season, the Phillies' lack of defense in the shift has been noted as a weakness for the team. And Arrieta brought it up after his June 3 game against San Francisco. He pitched 6 innings, allowing 5 runs on 8 hits, including a 3-run homer. He struck out 4 and didn't walk anyone. Arrieta did everything he could to keep the Giants from sweeping the series, including hitting a home run of his own that would serve as the only run for the Phillies in the 6-1 loss. The Phillies have the worst shift defense in the league, and they're going to need to figure out a solution quickly if they want to have a shot at the playoffs, as we creep ever closer to the All-Star break in a few weeks. On June 9, the Phillies were home against the Brewers. Arrieta pitched 5 1/3 innings, allowing 5 runs on 4 hits, including a grand slam by Ji-Man Choi in the top of the 6th. He struck out 4 and walked 3. The Phillies lost 12-3. I'll continue to tout Arrieta as one of the smartest players in the game. He has such a great understanding on all aspects of the game. Time with the Cubs only increased that understanding, so the Phillies need to put their heads together during one of Arrieta's morning yoga sessions and figure out some changes. They've dropped to 3rd place and are 4 games out of 1st right now. Arrieta has an ERA of 2.97 with a WHIP of 1.18. You can see Arrieta's full stats here. He'll pitch Friday in Milwaukee. Matt Carpenter, 1B, St. Louis Cardinals. Carpenter began June with a 3-game home series against the Pirates. He didn't have a whole lot of luck at the plate until June 3 when he walked in the 1st and was batted in on a grand slam by Marcell Ozuna in the bottom of the 1st. The Cardinals won the game 5-0 to take the series 2-1. On June 5, the Cardinals faced the Marlins in St. Louis. Carpenter hit a single in the bottom of the 3rd and was brought in on Tommy Pham's groundout. Carpenter ended the day with 3 singles, a flyout, and a strikeout. The Cardinals lost 7-4. June 6 brought Game 2 of the series, and Carpenter hit a double to deep left in the bottom of the 7th. Jose Martinez followed up with a single to right, bringing Carpenter around for the run. Unfortunately, the Cardinals still lost 11-3. June 7 saw Carpenter with the bottom of the 7th, but he couldn't get past 2nd. Fortunately, his teammates managed to come through for a 4-1 win. The Cardinals were in Cincinnati next, and June 8 brought an RBI for Carpenter in the top of the 7th when he singled to right and brought in Wong. The Cardinals pulled off a close 7-6 win over 10 innings to kick off the series. On June 9, the teams made it a home run derby, with 5 of the 7 hits in the game were home runs. Carpenter took his shot in the top of the 7th, making it 6-2 Cards. The Reds answered with 2 home runs of their own, but couldn't make up the difference. The Cardinals won 6-4. On June 10, the Reds were out for blood. Carpenter hit a single in the top of the 3rd and was batted in by Ozuna to make it 1-0 Cards. The Reds managed to keep the Cardinals at bay for a 6-3 win that ended the series. June 11 had the Cardinals back home again to face the Padres. Carpenter couldn't get any momentum at the plate, but the Cardinals still got a 5-2 win. June 12 saw Carp with a single in the bottom of the 7th. He was brought home by Ozuna to make it a 4-2 game. But the Cardinals couldn't catch the Padres and lost 4-2. Carpenter had the day off June 13, but should return later this week. Also, if you haven't watched the blooper reel from the Cardinals' Homers for Health campaign this year, here it is. You're welcome. Carpenter currently has 30 runs and 51 hits, with 8 home runs and 23 RBIs on the season. He's raised his average to .232. The Cardinals will play at home against the Cubs on Friday. You can see his full stats here. Andrew Cashner, P. Baltimore Orioles. It's not that Cashner is a bad pitcher. It's that the Orioles are bad at hitting. The Orioles are currently in the last place in the AL East, with a record of 19-48. They're 27 games out of first. Ouch. Cashner pitched at home against the Yankees on June 1. He lasted 6 innings, allowing 3 runs on 9 hits, while walking 1 and striking out 4 over 98 pitches. The Orioles lost 4-1. On June 8, Cashner pitched in Toronto. He pitched 6 innings and allowed 3 runs on 9 hits, including 2 home runs. He struck out 4 while walking 2 over 95 pitches. On June 12, Cashner was placed on the DL with back soreness, probably from carrying the team on his back all season. He was reportedly upbeat on June 13 after an MRI. Cashner currently has a 4.98 ERA and a 1.69 WHIP. You can see his full stats here. Cashner hopes to return to the mound on June 22. Brandon Finnegan, P. Cincinnati Reds. Finnegan is still with AAA Louisville. Hopefully the Reds can bring him back to the rotation soon. Finnegan currently has a 7.40 ERA. You can see his full stats here. Holaday, C. Miami Marlins. Holaday came in the bottom of the 6th to catch during a game in Arizona on June 1. He struck out in the top of the 7th in what would end as a 9-1 loss. On June 2, Holaday was brought in as a pinch hitter in the top of the 9th. Singled to right but was out at second on Starlin Castro's grounder into a fielder's choice to third. The Marlins lost 6-2. Holaday was back in the lineup on June 7 against the Cardinals in St. Louis. He struck out, ground out, and filed out in a 4-1 Marlins loss. But Holaday claimed yet another victim as a catcher for the Marlins, when he threw out Colton Wong to end the 4th. More than just Real Muto, Brian Holaday has cut down 9 of 13 would-be base stealers this season, which is bananas. https://t.co/19fm363xc, Fish Stripes, at Fish Stripes. June 7, 2018. Holaday was a pinch hitter on June 9 at home against the Padres. He struck out in the bottom of the 9th in a close 5-4 loss for Miami. Holaday currently has 4 runs and 9 hits, with 4 RBIs and 1 home run. His AVG is .161. You can see his full stats here. The Marlins are home against the Giants tonight.